Ms. Rodriguez, I want to talk about your campsite. You have 4 cabins.
Yeah, I have a lot of cabins.
We're at 12 campsites.
Yes.
Few trails.
I do have nice trails, yes. I mostly watch over the campsites, though.
Right, but your Calkins campground is really big, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a vast campground. That's why I chose it to own it.
It's a few hundred acres.
Yes, I didn't think I'd ever make the money for it, but that's why I went into loan.
Right, and you do your best to make sure that everyone's accounted for on that trail or on your campsite.
Well, I do my best to make sure that everyone on my campsite is safe, but I can't be responsible for everything that happens out on my trails themselves.
Right, but your trails are on Calkins campground.
They're part of Calkins Campground, yeah.
And you check everyone in that comes onto your campground.
I do with the liability form, and I recently had a safety check on all the grounds.
That's right, so Ms. Rodriguez, would it surprise you if another witness said they saw an unidentified person on your campsite?
Well, I would have checked them in, and they would have been identified. So, no, it would not, because not everybody else checks them in, just me.
Well, would it surprise you if this unidentified person wasn't listed on the list of people you gave Detective Chesney?
Well, they must not have been on the campsite if they were not identified. That just would not be possible.
Well, actually, Ms. Rodriguez, let's talk about that. You left the campsite on July 14th for 2 hours, didn't you?
Well, that's right. I do take a lunch break most afternoons with my brother.
And you left the campsite entirely?
Yes, I did. I spend every night there and I live there full time, but I do go out and spend time with my family.
Well, surely, Ms. Rodriguez, you have security cameras on your campsite?
Well, I do have some cameras near down by the main cabins, but I don't have them out on the trails.
Ms. Rodriguez, it is your testimony that you have security cameras on your campsite?
No, but I have the phones, and so the phones are kind of my cameras. That's the closest I can do.
Well, Ms. Rodriguez, I just want to clarify for the jury, you just testified that you have cameras at the gates.
Oh, not at the gates, no. Near the cabins.
Oh, okay. Well, Ms. Rodriguez, you just testified that you have cameras at the cabins, right?
Well, that's the phone.
So, Ms. Rodriguez, you have cameras in your phones.
Well, don't all phones have cameras?
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, I'm going to approach you with your affidavit, approaching you as a counsel. You're referring to the entire document. Ms. Rodriguez, this is your affidavit, right?
Yes, it is.
And you completed this, and that's your signature at the last page?
Yes,
And you knew that all parties would be relying on your testimony, right?
I did.
And that you had up until the time of trial to edit this affidavit.
Yes.
Nowhere in this affidavit does it state that you have cameras, right?
It says that I have a phone. It very clearly says that I have a phone.
That's right, Ms. Rodriguez. It says that you have a landline, right?
I have a payphone, yeah.
And did you specify that in this payphone there's cameras?
Well, no.
Do you think that it would have been important to provide Detective Chesney with that information so he could have reviewed the footage, right? Or she could have reviewed the footage?
Well, it wouldn't have filmed the people.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, I'll get that back from you. Ms. Rodriguez, well, surely you also have an overnight security guard at your campsite, right?
No, that's why I go in and check in on cabins if I think anything is wrong.
Right, and there's no gate at Calkins campground preventing people from just coming in.
No, because if people are staying, they check in with the cabin.
Right, but Ms. Rodriguez, if you're asleep and someone enters the campsite, you wouldn't know.
That's right. I wouldn't be able to do anything if I was sleeping.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, let's talk about the defendant now. You never saw the defendant, Jordan, push her daughter.
No, I did not.
You never saw the defendant hit her daughter.
No, I just saw them the few times I talked about.
Right, you never saw the defendant take a hiking stick and push her daughter off a loop.
No, I wasn't out hiking with them. I just saw them a couple times when I heard the 2 screams.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, let's actually I want to talk about what you did with the police in a minute. Right now I want to talk about what you did after this investigation. You actually created a new brochure for your campsite, right?
Yes, I did, and that's because so many people were asking me constantly about what had happened out on the trails, and I figured they should know that this is where what happened.
You'd recognize that brochure if I showed it to you?
Yes, I would.
All right. Approaching opposing counsel with the brochure, Exhibit 28. Approaching the witness. Your Honor, would you like a courtesy copy?
Yes, please.
Ms. Rodriguez, this is a brochure of your campsite, right?
Yes.
It's a true and accurate copy?
It is.
Has it been altered with in any way?
No, this is the Halloween edition.
Your Honor, we offer Exhibit 28 into evidence.
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Please.
We're not offering the statements in this brochure for the truth of the matter asserted. We're offering these statements to show the subsequent action taken by Ms. Rodriguez after Parker Page died on this loop.
Any response from the people?
Yes, Your Honor. It is the people's contention today that the defense is using this for the truth of the matter asserted, as it is an out-of-court statement being used to prove what Armani Rodriguez did. The truth value in that brochure is being used for the truth of the matter asserted, not subsequent action.
Finish what you just
It
said.
is not being used for subsequent action.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have it on a good faith basis that this witness will testify that after Parker Page died, she made this brochure. This brochure is used to promote Parker Page's death, and if you look, campsite 12, she'll testify that she increased this campsite 3 times the amount. We're not using this to show the truth of the matter asserted because we don't care that she increased this cabin by 3 times. We care about the subsequent action taken by the witness.
Your Honor, may I respond on these
Please.
grounds? If opposing counsel is testifying that they don't care that she raised the policy or the money of that campsite, then it's not showing subsequent action, as that's exactly what they're arguing. If they're saying that they don't care that the price was raised, then that's not subsequent action.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Yes.
This would be subsequent action as it goes to the credibility of the witness. We're not offering these statements for the truth of the matter asserted. We're offering this to show the subsequent actions taken by the witness, which directly go to their credibility and their presence in this courtroom.
Do you have another response?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Credibility and subsequent action are 2 very different arguments. As opposing counsel is arguing that they are using this for subsequent action, I ask you to consider that what opposing counsel just said in their latest response, that these are being used to show, or not being used to show that the increase of money, but rather what the witness did, which was increase the money. Therefore, this is still being used for the truth of the matter asserted.
May I respond, Your Honor?
Briefly.
Like I said, we're not offering these for the truth of the matter asserted. This is offered to show the subsequent action. Because after Parker Page died on that trail, Armani Rodriguez created this brochure, which shows the subsequent actions taken by the witness.
The objection is overruled. I do not find that this is objectionable based on hearsay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, campsite 12, when Jordan and Parker visited, you charged them $50 per night, right?
Yes, that's right, and they stayed 2 nights.
And this brochure says that campsite 12 is $150 per night now, right?
That's right. It's a little bit sick, but everyone wanted to stay at campsite 12 after what happened. And I had so many people writing emails to me about wanting to stay that I just had to raise the price because I was fighting offline. So we had a wait list for campsite 12. I don't like that violent sales these days.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, and then on the next page of this brochure it says, can you survive the Leckrone Loop, right?
That's right. This is what we always say for the Halloween edition around the fall time.
Okay.
That's why it says fear the fall.
Sure, Ms. Rodriguez, but I just want to clarify for the jury, Parker Page died on Leckrone Loop, right?
Yes.
And then it also says fear the fall, right?
Fear the fall is in the season.
Parker Page fell off Leckrone Loop, right?
Unfortunately, yes, she did. I should have maybe changed the wording, but I don't make the graphics.
Ms. Rodriguez, you tried to profit from this little girl's death, didn't you?
No, I didn't. As I said, I would never want to profit off of violence, but this is how I make my living. And so many people wanted to stay here at campsite 12 after what happened that I had to.
All right, I'll go ahead and get that back from you. But then, Ms. Rodriguez, let's talk about what the police did in this investigation. They approached you at about 9:30 a.m.
Yep, that's when Detective Chesney came to my side.
Right, and Detective Chesney asked you where Jordan Ryder was,
Yes, she did.
and she asked permission to search the campsites.
Yeah, she did, and that's why I kind of took her around because I know them like the back of my hand.
And then, Ms. Rodriguez, they asked you to prepare a witness statement in today's case.
Yes.
They never arrested you in connection to this case.
Well, no, they asked me a ton of questions, and I'm kind of a motor mouth, so I spilled a bunch of information on them right when they got to me.
Right, Ms. Rodriguez, but you were never considered a suspect in today's case.
Well, at first it seemed like I might be. They did ask me a lot of questions.
But you were never asked to get an attorney.
Well, no, because once they asked me questions and we walked around the campsite and then they talked to me again later, they seemed to be finished.
In fact, Ms. Rodriguez, you had a friend with you that morning, right?
Oh, yeah.
They never asked you to identify that friend.
Well, she just came over.
Right, but they didn't even want to know the friend's name.
Well, she had just come over, like drove over just that moment.
I know, Ms. Rodriguez, you want to explain when she was there, but yes or no, the police didn't ask her any questions.
No, I introduced her and said that she had just come over to the campsite to spend time with me.
Right, Ms. Rodriguez, and the police also never asked you if you had seen a Corbin Dallas on the campsite.
No, they didn't.
They never showed you a picture of Corbin Dallas.
Not that I recall.
In fact, Mr. Rodriguez, right now is the first time you're hearing Corbin Dallas's name, right?
They might have mentioned it then, but it's hard to recall.
Is it your testimony that the police mentioned Corbin Dallas to you?
No, it's not.
So until right now, it's the first time you're hearing Corbin Dallas's name, right?
It's the first time I've heard this much for sure.
Pass the witness.
Very much. Any redirect?
Short redirect, Your Honor. Ms. Rodriguez, do you have any belief that your campground was unsafe?
No, absolutely not. We'd actually just had the entire campsite looked over in order for my liability forms to still be valid and checked for safety and all the different trails right before actually Ms. Ryder came out, like a couple weeks before.
So, Ms. Rodriguez, you didn't need a security guard or cameras out there, right?
Well, no, I mean, I got confused about the payphone, but no.
Is having a security guard standard procedure out on campgrounds?
No, I mean, I did learn about campground safety and owning a campground after being a lawyer, which was a new system for me, but I've never had a security guard. I've always been more involved than your average camp owner in my campsite.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. No further questions, Your Honor.
No recross, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. All right, may the witness step down?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down, thank you. Any other witnesses, people?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Dr. Quincy to stand